All right, guys, Tim Kell, TKL Knives. The shit hit the fan. We just got attacked. What are you gonna do? First stop is gonna be your get home bag. What do you really need to grab? What do you really need to prepare for? What do you need if you've got to get to the house, where your supplies are, where your family is, and say you've got to jettison your vehicle? What are you gonna do? What do you need to get home? First, I recommend a bag on the smaller side. Citizens band radio or a walkie-talkie. A waterproof one I certainly recommend. These are the Cobra. They're kind of on the upper end of the civilian style. Set the channels to a known channel for you and your family. So we have extended family in another part of the state. They have the same brand of these set to the same channel. If it happens, it's quick. You don't know. Power's out, cell phone's out. They don't know you're coming. You don't know they're coming. Turn the freaking thing on, set it on scan, and listen for your loved ones to say, hey, we're in range. Get your get home bag. Let's get home. You know what I'm saying? Makes sense. One of the tools I like to have for that, I carry all the cords for all my rechargeable stuff. I use rechargeable. We'll cover that in a second. This is just a cheap little walkie-talkie cordless thing, so you can leave that in your bag, run it through your ear so your hands are free to get back in the fight. All your charging cords, a rechargeable flashlight, just a little one. You only need a handful of hours of battery life. I keep the instructions to this radio. It's got CB, walkie-talkie, emergency, and weather channels, so you can know, have we been attacked? Has a tornado hit? Earthquakes? All that stuff. Be in the know. First aid kit. It's the same first aid kit I run on my battle belt. It's got the cross on it so other people know, God forbid you're down and somebody needs, well, where's your first aid stuff? That's a pretty good indication. It's rip away. So they can grab this. Inside here, you've got your basic Band-Aids, little small bandages. I've got more stuff for heavy trauma in here. Any kind of super glue is great for closing wounds really quickly. It breaks down over time so you can get it out, but it'll seal all that, keep sepsis out. We've got bleed stop, which are really heavy gauze pads for nasty cuts. I've got in here quick clot powder for really big open stuff. I have tourniquets and sucking chest wound packs. Look for the ones with 2 pieces, because if you get shot, there's an entrance and an exit wound, and you need both. So it lets air in but not blood out. Super handy, cheap. Hope to God you never need it. Go into the next pocket. This will kind of couple with the blender bottle. So this is a blender bottle. It takes up a lot of space. Some people recommend a couple bottles of water. I use a Camelback, and we use the blender bottle for a couple reasons. So I use this as a storage device also. I keep one of these cheap Costco rain jackets. They're great. Inside it, I'll roll up. So I've got a spare fire starter in there. Depending on the time of year, I'll put a survival blanket and roll all that up in there. These are BPA free. You can put these electrolyte powders in here. This is a multivitamin and electrolytes wrapped in one. If you can't get the food or you're on the go, dump it in there. This is what's called a Zip Fizz. This is a huge shot of B. Ooh, B vitamins get you back into it. There's caffeine. There's D vitamins in here. These aren't all natural sources of stuff, but still, this will get back in the game. Don't use these on a daily basis because you're gonna need this to get back in it. Good stuff, right? I keep a handful of these in here. Enough for me and another person, because if there's somebody in your vehicle, they don't have their get home bag, you don't want to be like, screw you buddy, you're on your own. Gotta help people too, that's part of it. Food. I try to use natural food sources as much as possible. Get yourself a foraging book or a foraging app. Memorize your local stuff if you've got to eat plants from the ground. If you can't, these are fruit and veggie packs for your toddler, so you may look like a nut loon going down the road or hiding in the bushes. This is all your greens right here in a pack. Enough for a couple days worth of nutrient. Power bars, protein, extra shots of protein, trail mix. You've got natural sources of protein in here. I like these little bars because they're compact. There's sugar, honey in here. Honey's another thing we keep in our go bags. wound care, health, antibiotic, a lot of properties in honey that are, it's a miracle. Peanut butter packets, we had these in the MREs in the Marine Corps. Some people hated them, and I always was like, I'll take that. A lot of protein, sugar added. You eat it, get it on your face, look like a wild person. You can stick twigs and sticks and hide out and make yourself a ghillie suit with your peanut butter and honey face. Multi-purpose. Salmon. Look, 15 grams of protein. You can flip it over and look at all of your other nutrients. Your calorie burn is going to be about 600 calories per hour of hiking, and then you add in there adrenaline of somebody's trying to get you, or you're worried about your family, you can't get in contact, so you can burn upwards 1,200 calories an hour. I'm not just a fat kid with a ton of food stashed in here because I like to eat. It high calorie stuff. And this is more compact than buying a $30 MRE from the Army Navy store. If that's all you can get that. But take food. Lentils. I recommend lentils every day at the Indian restaurant, or if you have a chef for a wife like I do, you don't have to go to the Indian restaurant. This is a bean, for those of you that don't know. Beans are great protein, nutrient packed food, and a lot of, it's shelf stable. You can keep Madras lentils for 1.5 million years and have something decent to eat instead of some soy protein isolate garbage beans and frankfurters from a Marine Corps MRE meal that will make you, well, maybe they give us those because they make you want to kill people more because they're nasty. Shelf stable rice. Look at other cultures. You can store dry rice for 20 freaking years. Literally. And dry beans. You don't have to buy gimmicky products. Think about what you eat every day that you can take with you so you won't hate your life. Rice. I like rice. And if you don't eat rice every day, do it anyway. So we'll flip to the side. Fire starters. I highly recommend Blackbeard fire starters. I'm not promoted by anybody other than experience, right? It does look like it because I left the patch on. They've got these kits you can buy. A lighter. Take a lighter. If you don't have to use a ferro rod, don't. So this is waterproof. These are the plasma arc lighters. It's rechargeable. Windproof, waterproof, rechargeable. I think you get 10,000 lights out of this. That's a lot. So look, it always works. Alone is a great show, and yeah, sparking your stuff, but make it easier on yourself if you can. But have backups. So here's backups. The Blackbeard fire ropes, they're awesome. You can get this whole kit for cheap right now. They're on sale. It'll come with a ginormous freaking ferro rod. So you've got that as backup in case your batteries die, or you can't, or it's super wet or whatever. These things will burn on top of water. If you need to start a fire, buy the stuff now. Don't listen to the video that tells you, oh, 10 minutes, crap hit the fan, I gotta go to Walmart, first 10 things I can grab. Well, first you're gonna be fighting for your life in Walmart in the first 10 minutes, or if it's martial law, then it's shut down and you're looking stupid because you didn't take 10 minutes 10 days before to go buy a pack of salmon. Think about it, people. This is not controversial to me, but can be to others. You need a firearm in your bag. Some people like to carry an AR, and on a bigger pack, I'm a quick pack go type of dude. I carry a 9mm. This is a Sig Sauer P320. I'm a Sig guy. This is the M17. Let's do a clear drill. Firearm's clear. Every time you touch your firearm, check it for clearance. Accidental discharges happen. Okay? If you're trying to survive, don't shoot yourself in the face or the foot from getting in a hurry and being dumb. Practice, 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 okay? 9mm, because most police departments and military use a 9mm. If you find rounds on the ground for a handgun, it's probably going to be a 9mm. Opportunity. You know what I mean? If the fight comes to you and the cops run up and go, hey, you're a citizen, oh yeah, show your ID, and you've got a 9mm, they drop a can of ammo, you're not carrying some weird, strange cartridge. If you want to be super, super streamlined prepared, grab a Glock. I don't shoot Glocks, but I can't. If you find a magazine on the ground for a 9mm handgun, chances are it's a Glock. Grab, whoop, clip, clip, go, you're gone. More rounds to stay in the fight. I carry a Safariland holster because it's extremely secure. However expensive, cheap gear will get you killed, okay? You can cheap out on some stuff, but not gear that'll save your life. This locks in, so your kiddies can't get it out. So you have to flip this down. It's still locked in, and you have to do this. So this looks like a crazy psycho, you're that weirdo at the range guy that's prepared for battle. But Safariland comes with several mounting systems for their firearms. So when you buy the full kit, it's got a drop holster for your battle gear, which my other one stays on. It's got a clip for your chest rig. It's got this. I don't use this one. That's why it stays in my go bag, because I'm not a big fan of thigh holsters. However, I want something that's low that I can get to, and it's not in the way of me running and jumping and diving and gunning, which is why I recommend the Safariland. It locks in. You can also take this clip off and just clip it straight to here, but if you're moving, I find that that gets in the way of your waistline. So in a situation where you need to be focused on movement, I like these. They're out of the way, super accessible, and when you get back home, if you've got to transition to a plate carrier or your battle, it just pops right back out and you can clip it on there. Safariland holster setup, SIG P320 handgun for shooting animals if you've got to. God forbid somebody tries to impede you to get home to your family, and God help the man that gets between Tim Kell and his wife and kids. I got enough firepower in here to ensure that nobody's getting to my family before I am. But I'm not going to shoot a human unless they're trying to kill me. I don't advocate violence, but I know that it happens. When it comes to you, don't be trying to throw sand at somebody. You know what I'm talking about? Like book. These are the green books we used in the Marine Corps with my sticker for a shameless plug for T-Kill knives. Addresses, phone numbers, even tape maps inside of this thing. Any pertinent information, or if you go into somebody's home and they're not there and you got to borrow some food from them, leave a note. Borrowed your this. If you need it back, come see me here. If you need help, whatever. Be a decent human even in a bad situation. A book, priceless. Why do I carry rechargeable gear? Because I have a recharger. This is 3,800 milliamp hours, so you can charge your cell phone a couple hundred times. You can run a laptop. You can recharge your batteries on it. It's waterproof. It's got a little light on it that I'm not sure how useful that is, but if you're in a tent or you need some light, this is what you need the most. Solar. You can open this thing. It's got little hookies on the back. Strap it to your pack. While you're getting down the road, this thing's recharging. You can recharge your stuff when you get a little bit of a break and eat your peanut butter snacky snack. You know what I'm talking about? Solar charger, very important. More ammunition. I keep spare mags here. All of my gear has spare magazines on it. So my plate carrier, my get home bag, my range bag, I've always got them close. You need rounds, because if you need food or you need to get home and somebody's trying to stop that, you need rounds. A knife, right? This is the Mercenary. This is kind of a multi-platform blade. So what we've added to this sheath, just real quick, we added a thumb screw because you're not going to probably have a tool to slide this in. So if you slide this down, it won't come out, right? But you just slide it back when you're using it, and you've got regular retention, just like the rest of our stuff. So this is a bigger blade. It's a 6-inch blade, but it's also got swedges for combat style, but it's got that thick spine if you need to baton through wood, glass breaker temple spike, G10 with a texturing on it, so if it gets wet or bloody, because disasters don't happen when it's convenient, unfortunately. Jimping, heavy use for gloves, nickel boron. It's a 1095 high carbon steel blade, so you can throw a hell of a spark. You cut for days. I also have a knife sharpener in here in case I'm extended for longer than I think I'm going to be. So I keep that locked in there. We're gonna get to the bag. I like to do storage on the outside of my bag. A lot of this gear will come in its own little external pouches. and they all have these MOLLE mounts. So when you're selecting a bag, look for something that's got these extra little mounts. That maximizes what you can carry inside your bag. So you can go with a smaller platform bag, but you've got all this external storage to keep more items with you, but still have a slimmer line. See, this is narrow, so that if you're jumping and climbing and moving around, and it won't impede you drawing firearms, it won't impede you getting inside your pockets. It keeps this a small compact bag, so if you've got this thing slung across your shoulder, it's very easy to turn this bag and get to your important stuff and still keep on the move. Zip this guy back up. So this is a smaller bag. I picked it up at Walmart. It's double stitched. It's Cordura. It's way higher quality than it cost. And carry a life straw life filter so you can refill your Camelback if you need. Camelback inside of there. I like this chest style. This doesn't impede my movement at all to get to my firearm. And for me, a firearm is kind of a last resort issue in a get home thing. My sole purpose is to survive, to get to the people that need me to protect them, to get my generator fired up, to make sure the house didn't get sucked up in a tornado. So I've got food, I've got blades. If you think you need to, and this is seasonal too, if it's springtime, chances are you can shelter under something and just sleep out in the open. Is that ideal? No. But if you don't like that idea, grab a small shelter hat for a tent, maybe a ground cloth, wintertime. These things will change, but what you need to focus on is keep it focused to what you actually think you're gonna need. If you are pretty local and you're not gonna pass by a fishing spot, don't waste time with a fishing rod reel setup. If you do think you're going to, then pack a little miniature fishing setup. I've seen people who have made them around their blender bottles or a Nalgene or whatever. So keep that in mind. This is not the perfect setup. This is what works for me right now. 25 March 2022, Vladimir Putin's acting like an insane person and Xi Jinping is trying to be his best friend. I'm nervous enough to carry this stuff with me every day. I'll sleep on the ground outside. Space blankets, a GPS. We have downloaded topographical maps to our phone that are accessible without any service. I have a phone recharger for my solar power, so that's maps to get home. So this is kind of shapeable. If you've got any questions, suggestions, bring them to us. Thank you guys for watching.